Oh my god, we've got the anti-spy measures up for some reason. Let's get rid of that. No need for the anti-spy measures right now. Sorry about that. How are we all doing tonight? Hello, hello, hello. We are here. We are ready to go. Make sure. Whoop. Apparently that needs to be at that level now. Vampire bats. Vampire bats. We need vampire bats. Battlebound, how's it going? Have you seen Chisgull Gaming's new server? I have not. What is the deal with Chisgull's new server? But yes, we definitely need vampire bats. What are you talking about? Sound alerts is working just fine. At least it was. God damn it. Refresh. Done. Do the thing. With the thing. There. It's working just fine. I don't know what they're talking about. Well, hello, hello. I think that's a new face in the stream. Thank you for joining us tonight. Oh man, I think I need to get a new goddamn mouse. This one is like broke all the shit, it seems. What the hell? It won't. Yep, now it won't even there we go. Wow. Strange. Oh, this guy seems to have just calmed right down, eh? Smart. We're not quite there yet. Alright. He's got hundreds of people into a server playing Linden. It's insane. You should make a second account and join it. I will pass. I'm not planning on doing anything serious for the rest of the season. I'm just messing around with different stuff now, waiting for next season to come out. I don't have any interest in playing Linden or Arnor anyway. I don't like either of those factions as a concept. But all the best to him and the people he's got joining him. I'm sure they'll have tons of fun. I'm just starting off with some minor administration or whatever you want to call it stuff, getting stuff going on the Rune account here. This is the general Q&A. I didn't do much of an intro. Good, still tired, I guess. It is the general Q&A as we usually do. So if anyone has any questions about the game, commanders, troops, items, skills, anything like that, feel free to ask. Will it work better if I just use the damn touchpad now? He's like, oh, I can just click with the touchpad and then use the mouse. That's a weird setup. But I guess we can make it work. So we got to put a mouse on the list. What was the other thing? I think we had 5 Matham coins here, plus our free draw and our discounted draw. Let's see what we get out of this. Anything good? No. What's a good skill tree for an R5 Kamul? Whoop, that's not the one I want to go in because I don't have them yet. we'll just pop over here. We will actually be talking pretty in depth about the tier 2 commanders later on, since I'm going to be trying to film the tier 2 commanders tier list for the evil side. I did the tier 3 commanders on Monday, and so I'll be sharing my thoughts on the tier 2 commanders and ranking them later on tonight. For a rank 5 or respect 5 Kamul, I would say you want to stick in these 3 trees. There are people experimenting with the Black Easterling tree and Angmar using the Fallen. I still haven't heard enough on that to say one way or another whether it's worth it, but it feels like this tree is kind of made for the Fallen. So if you're Angmar and you have access to the Fallen, you might want to try that and experiment with it. I don't know if it's good, but it seems like it should pay off. I do know that these 3 trees are very good. Second in command, I swear by this tree. This increases your focus by 15. Your allied melee units get 15% extra damage during combat, gives you 15 extra focus. But it also gives you discipline, which increases your army's defense by 35 at max. And anticipation gives the allied units with the lowest defense a 75% chance, I believe that is at max, of avoiding all damage from the next 4 attacks. This basically is used exclusively with the Reapers, since they have that major damage bonus from round 5 onward. This gives them a really high chance of surviving until round 5. The defense this provides to your army is just good on any unit. I generally suggest Mountain Trolls to go with the Reapers and then a 3rd unit of your choosing. It makes a pretty good composition on this guy, I find. Shadow of the East unlocks his poison damage. This just deals focus damage. 100%, or sorry, 300%. I believe that should be 20 times 15. Maths, yeah. Should be 300%. Focus damage once prioritizes the enemy with the highest defense, which is kind of counterintuitive to what most people expect. It's generally lowest defense units getting targeted. And then up here he gets poison damage, which causes 21.4%. That would be times 7, probably looking at 150% poison damage, continuous every round. Cannot be avoided. This they just added, and that makes it even better. So anything with avoidance, just nope, sucks to be you. You're still taking the damage. Dreadful Presence deals, that one I believe is 90% focus damage, modified by the focus stat, and the targets can only cause minimum damage for the next round, which can be pretty big against certain units. If you do have, as you said, you've got Respect 5. Ring Wraith increases burn, poison, and focus damage, gives you extra focus, and just unlocks more poison. Normal attacks deal poison damage for 2 rounds, and Nazgul Screech stuns and, it's focus damage that this one does when the stun wears off. So he's got a lot that he offers to his units and damage-wise, in these 3 trees here. King Dead has a question. Why are Arnor and Lyndon in the game? Why are you joking about that? That's a valid question. How am I doing today? I'm not doing too bad, King Dead. How about yourself? Would the highest defense pro be good with Crushers? Probably be good with, I'm guessing that's what pro is. It would be good with, sorry. I'm trying to understand your question. Is pro the word you're looking for there? Is it proc? Is it, I liked Crushers with Kamul. I will say that. I'm one of the few people I think that really liked Crushers. Because they reduce defense on their own. I feel like this is what you were talking about, or what you were asking about. Prioritizes, yeah. It would be. I mean, it would. I'm trying to think if there's any downside. Yeah, because they're going to decrease a unit's defense. I guess they might mess with who this prioritizes if they hit certain units and the defense numbers are close enough. That's about the only thing I can see going odd with it, but I mean, generally they would work well together. I can't really see a major downside to using the two of them together. Decreasing defense is just always good. A little behind, but that's racist, and I'm not too bad other than being betrayed by bats instead of vampire bats. Yeah. I loved that little picture you showed for clarification. Like, you know, that's a bat. Vampire bats were the size of people. And for anyone, I think there was a question about that earlier, as to like what we were talking about, vampire bats. Since you got the lore of it on your mind, do you want to fill people in chat about what the vampire bats is and why we think it's cool? There might be others that already know, but as I said, I'm not too bad. I am a little upset that we may get some snow tonight here. It's getting pretty cold. I think we've got some skill. Whoop, what did I just press there? I think we've got some skill points. Yeah, or a skill point probably to put on Mr. Caldoon here. We're just going to keep going with this. While they're taking a march, we'll look at our oh, we got all our timers to get going. Alrighty then. Main hall. You need a level 6 and a level 3. So we'll make you level 3. We'll make you level 2. Ooh. Ah! Are you writing the whole book out there, King, or are you not? Are you leaving it to me to fill people in on the bats? Morgoth had vampire bats is basically the gist of it. But see, I didn't want to boil it down to being that simple. So hopefully the full explanation is coming. Basically, it's just a unit that King was saying should be. It's a book, yeah. Should be added to the game though. I'm not sure if his idea was as just like a normal recruitable unit or a special unit. When we were talking about it, I thought it would be a cool like special unit to be added to the game that you could recruit out on the field type thing. Not to replace, just in addition to. At least that's what I assumed King was kind of throwing it out there as. Because they really do need more special units. They don't have enough. The evil factions kind of get really screwed when it comes to special units. It's like, sure, Mama Kills are good, but there's only like 10 or 12 camps available, and they're all down south. Oathbreakers, sure, you can recruit them as evil, but you gotta get through Gondor to get to them. Fell Beasts are alright. And Barrow Whites just suck. No two ways around that. Bad Barrow Whites. More or less T3 with poison damage. Actually, that would be a neat unit to. Now, and were you thinking with like a special unit, as a special unit, sorry, or as like a normal unit that you could recruit? Because if they were used by Morgoth, they might fit with Mordor and could replace the warg tree. I think that would be neat. Hey, Khaldoon's level 8. Awesome. Yeah, because like Mordor would still have access to the wargs through the Angmar tree, through the Angmar building there. But yeah, I know there's a lot of people that don't like the units, like the wargs and the Dunedains being shared by multiple factions. I really am getting sick of this mouse. This is just annoying. Click. Alright, so if we fully troop you up 3228, we need to speed this up. You know, I just really hope we don't have to wait any more than like a month or so for the next season. This is really getting old. People are just so unhappy, it seems. It's getting harder and harder to just keep doing stuff. There we go. Whoop. Do you think it's better to increase defense or increase damage mitigation? And yeah, it has taken so long that Mordor has retaken the capital. Wow. If you had the option between straight defense or damage mitigation, the damage mitigation is probably better. Depends on the percentages. It depends on the percentage of damage mitigated and the defense that you're getting. But yeah, I would generally say of the two, the mitigation is probably going to give you a bit more in raw numbers. But that's not to say that raw defense is bad. I value it quite highly myself. And I noticed on the poll that I put out earlier, it is still pretty heavy stick to Rise to War, and I was pretty certain that would be the case. But there is, it looks like there is some interest in the Diablo Immortal closed beta. Unfortunately, I don't know how to get it actually running on like BlueStacks or Nox or LD Player. I even tried that. Every time I get it downloaded and try and run it, it says it is not supported on my device. Which is strange, because I went in and I even made sure I set it to like the same device as my phone that I play it on. And it still wouldn't work. So I don't know. Even if there is interest, I may not be able to deliver, because I don't know how to get playing it on the PC. We need drummer trolls too. Yeah, that'd be cool. Ah. Now would they, because I mean, if they're drumming, I don't know, like would they be kind of physically weak themselves? They wouldn't do a whole lot of damage themselves, but they'd provide a huge, I don't know, like damage bonus or something like that to the rest of the army. I just want us to push into Gondor if we could. Try. Why can't you? Just raw right into Osgiliath. Charge. Yeah, that'd be cool. A speed bonus to trolls. Like a huge speed bonus. That'd be funny. Mr. Gorebag, you need some troops, I guess. I think Khaldun needs those, though. So you can just get extra other dudes. I do have my commanders loaded up and ready to go on the main account as well. Probably gonna find an elf or two to have some fun with later. Can't just let them all sit there bored. Been using alerts. Quest flights. Welcome to the stream. Been using alerts and was curious on a good comp. My army always seems to get destroyed while alerts does 150 to 200k damage. Yep. That's pretty much what you're going to expect from alerts. He does a lot of damage himself, but his army, he doesn't really provide any help to his army. So really you can try and use the best units you can to counter what you're fighting. When I was using alerts, I generally ran things like snipers, crushers, sometimes ravagers, alchemists, corsairs. Spearmen sometimes if I was facing a lot of mounted units. Yeah, Treebeard would be a good commander. And he makes sense too. Oh, what do we get? Boo. I was hoping it was an invite. That would have been nice. I mean, it's a special server. I guess nothing's carrying over, but still would have been neat. Still haven't seen a T3 invite. Wrong guy. You're the one that takes those. Just the payoff for high commander damage. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. He just doesn't really care much about his troops. I describe the evil commanders as being more selfish in battle than the good commanders. A lot of the times the good commanders will buff units and provide damage mitigation, heals, things like that. There's a lot of evil commanders that don't bother with any of that stuff and just pump out the damage themselves. And that's fine. That can get the job done. Yeah, that would be pretty cool, King, but as you said there, I don't think they have the licensing to any of the Shadow of War or Shadow of Mordor characters. So, hey, how's it going, David Moore? Welcome back. Server is going crazy lately, eh? You're at almost 4.5 million prestige. Holy. I've been doing pretty well, David. Been trucking along, you know. The main account is just kind of doing its thing, the same as most people right now. Server's in a kind of state of boredom. As I was just mentioning a little while ago, I've got a few commanders over there loaded up and ready to go. Have some fun later. But I figured I'd stick to the rune account for a little bit here that people had asked me to start on Monday. Going to be doing the tier 2 commander list. Like tier list or whatever later on. So I figured why not just stick over here. Like I don't even know why I'm doing this. Like I said, this is a special server. None of this is carrying over anyway. Just kind of doing it because, you know, that's what you do. You spend those respect things. Oop. Mr. Grima, you can take that. Why not? Alrighty then. All done. Mr. Caldoon got his ass kicked a couple of times. He needs a refresh. Sounds good. How do I train soldiers? Everything is maxed out. Oh, how do I train T4 soldiers? Everything is maxed out. Like your barracks is maxed out, Willie? If that's the case, then you can either go fight some stuff to kill people, like to kill some of your soldiers, or you can come into your barracks here, and if you see this little icon with the helmets with the minus symbol, that actually lets you just dismiss units. So it's a great way to go and clear out tier 1, tier 2, like any tier 1 or tier 2 units that you still have hanging around. You can clear out any tier 3s that you don't want. But yeah, that's how you just clear up space in your barracks. I got my Radagast to level 50. Put all 3 or 4-star refined gear, smite, weapon, melee, damage reduction on helmet and chest. Gold pipe, reduced damage 8%. Went full heal and damage reduction on him. Woo! Wow. Ouch. Put tier 4 dwarves on him. He survives 47 direct attacks on a crossing. I bet he did. Okay, well, still, Willie. I mean, that's how you do it. Is you just go into your barracks, hit that little icon, helmet icon with the minus symbol, get rid of some of your units, and then you can recruit tier 4s. If you've got the building upgraded anyway. The other thing you need is your main hall at level 10. I guess I assumed that you were here already. You do need to get your main hall to level 10 so that you can get whatever your main unit building is to level 10. And then you can actually unlock your tier 4 unit in order to recruit it. Alright, is that Discord link still working? If not, I gotta have a chat with the Nightbot. People haven't been saying anything about it being wrong, though, so I think he's still good. But yeah, David Moore, holy crap, that Radagast, that would just be something silly. And you put all Iron Warriors on him. Ouch. Just nasty. And what respect level is he? Or the Discord thingamajig that Nightbot just put up, King. It works? Okay. Thank you. I thought you were asking what Discord link. I used the heal that does like 280% heal on the highest defense unit, and I only use Iron Dwarves a full stack. Oh my god. That's crazy. That's what, like 3,750 Iron Warriors is a full stack, isn't it? Yes, it's literally retarded. Yes, it would definitely be quite hindering. Not a commander I would want to face on the battlefield. I will tell you that much. That would be a bad day. Just a very bad day. I think, what is it, Undying at Respect 5? He'd be about the only thing that would give you an issue. Battlebound, on my Gimli, I use the Elves Protection build. Should I use just half Iron Warriors and half Bow Knights? What would you say is the best troops to use? If you are a dwarf, Iron Warriors... you could throw Rams in there if you wanted to, just for the defense reduction. But yeah, I'd probably go with David Moore's suggestion there of a third Iron Warriors and 2/3 Bow Knights, and you'd be rocking. I just post the reports in World Chat and type QQ as they rage about how broken dwarves are. Awesome. I love it. I love it so much. I gotta start another Dwarven account. I miss my dwarves. People always used to laugh, like in the first beta that I played, they always laughed that dwarves were so slow and whatnot, and I just always come back with the same thing. Yeah, that's just more time for our enemies to tremble in fear. Join us in 16. We go in dwarves next season. Nice. I have found it does not matter how slow you are as a dwarf. When you have draw commanders, you can just push forward like a wall. I'll join next season for sure. My main plan is still going Mordor next season. But maybe my secondary account will be dwarves. By the way, I tested if Ram Riders single out and target Dunedains, and they don't. I'm gonna test the Sentinels and Sharpshooters. Yeah, they don't say anything about prioritizing targets, so I don't think they do. I think they just kind of hit whoever. Although you might want to test it against, if you're trying to test like whether Ram Riders go at melee versus ranged, you may want to test against a melee unit that doesn't prioritize range. Oh, well, if you're only using Ram Riders, it wouldn't matter. So yeah, never mind. Scratch that. Nakomanda, do I have a good unit composition for Mordor's tier 4 unit? I struggle to find a good usage for them. It is tough to use the Ravagers. At least that's what they're called here. It is a little bit tough to use them. But I find if you use them in combination with Mountain Trolls, if you can afford to recruit both, and then put them in with something like Reapers or really any other third unit, they can really do some damage then. Especially, like I said, with the Mountain Trolls, just because they'll get those the 3 rounds to kind of survive. I did Tower Guard Rams and Bonites versus Tower Guard Dunedains and Bonites. Oh, okay. Nice. Hello, Rainbow Pit. The other thing with the tier 4 trolls is they are good on a commander like Kamul with the second in command tree, giving the extra defense. They can also be really good on someone like Lurtz or Exoc, who are doing a lot of damage. Because as I was saying to someone earlier, that a lot of the time those commanders that do a lot of damage themselves almost sacrifice their troop damage because they don't provide much in the way of damage mitigation or heals or damage boosts to their army. They're taking it all for themselves. So if you throw a unit like Ravagers on one of them, it just increases the damage your troops are doing along with the damage your commanders are doing, and can really overwhelm certain compositions and commanders on the other side. In all honesty, though, if you go back and watch like some of my old beta streams when I was playing Mordor, I said many times that I preferred the Mountain Trolls, the tier 3 trolls, over the tier 4 trolls. just because that taunt is so useful. My next plan with Radagast is to put one Hobbit on him so units only become wounded instead of die. That would be great. So Ravager, Mountain Troll, Snipers would be good, I guess. Yep. Because then your Snipers would be taking out their ranged units while your Trolls just massacre their melee. So yeah, maybe give that a shot, Monda, and see how that works for you. And let me know. See if it's an improvement. Yeah, not a problem, dude. Oh, you gotta wait 20 minutes. That's no fun. We got the gore bag over here. Ah. Gorbag, can you take this one out? Yes, you can. I don't know if you have it off, but your music is off or low, and we can hear your PC fan. Oh, God. That's just terrible. All right. How's that? Can you hear it? Is that drowning out the fan? Thank you very much for letting me know that, King. I don't even have the fan like on right now. That's like its absolute base setting. This thing can be quite loud if I really crank it. Still no music. Can you hear music now? Oh, wait. Okay, maybe I needed to turn it up in... maybe I needed to turn it up in Spotify. That's what this is called. Alright. Is there music? Can you hear me now? Because this is another one of those weird times where all the stuff that I normally look at to tell me if the sound is working, it all tells me the sound is working fine. I'm listening to the stream output. I can hear music. Ah, cool. All right. Is it too loud now? Did I overcompensate? Good balance? Awesome. Thank you, Andreas. Excellent. That is what we like to hear. I guess I'll just do the thing. Ah! Oh, God. Damn it. I didn't want to do that thing. There we go. There we go. No more red dot there. No more red dot there. Awesome. perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Indeed. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Unlike this wonderful game, I had to say it. I just had to. It was like, I was trying to hold it back. Nope. 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 You just left it out there. It was too good. Oh, these devs are frustrating me. I tell you, like I don't want to get into the negativity about it, but man, it's just getting so frustrating. I mean, at least they're giving us little bits, like this update, this last update they gave, you know. They at least gave us some harder mobs, and apparently better rewards. This army status thing now differentiates friendly from enemy colors. I want to read more about that. Their balancing stuff is weird though. Like how, I don't understand why they reduced the conscription time, resource cost, and treatment time on crushers instead of, you know, just increasing their stats. Oh, the new rewards suck. Awesome. That's great to hear. The only part about this update that I read that was like, awesome, okay, great, was this part where Kamul's poison damage and Sauron's overload just now ignore avoidance straight out. I think that's great. I like that this was fixed, because if that just wasn't working, then, well, yeah, you had to fix it. It's not really a buff, it's just fixing what was broken. And same with this. It seems like this is more of a fix than a change. And this confuses me. This apparently seems to suck, and I don't know what this is yet. So, yeah. These are really good though. I'm really happy. I was really happy when I read these. Because avoidance is a pain in the ass. Do we have any decent gear? I mean, yeah, we'll give you that, I guess. Shroud. Oh, it says Shroud as well. Well, that sucks. Well, I guess we'll take the speed. At least we got free gems, I guess. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Rainbow Pit. Go gems. 30k XP from level 40 mobs and 25k grain and 1 5-minute speed up, but you haven't gotten one tip from them. I reset my ring to go the sweep route too. Wow. False Prodigy, how's it going? It's going. You know, I'm just taking some tiles, spending some stamina on the rune account here, leveling up some commanders, and then after the break we're going to be diving into the tier 2 tier list for the evil commanders. I'm going to share my thoughts on how I think, on how I rank them. Got a goddamn fly around in here. But yeah, we'll take a look at these guys. I'll put them on the list, and we'll see where they all fall. I imagine some of you can probably make some guesses as to where certain commanders are going to end up, but there may be a few surprises. And how are, yeah, going good. This is Swifty. Ah, I definitely did. You are quite welcome, man. You are quite welcome. I am so happy to hear that AjMcGamer is still performing the way he should be. Like I said, I was getting quite worried. There was a lot of people saying that he wasn't doing his thing. But no. Those reports you sent me, those were definitely some good-looking AjMcGamer reports. He's doing what he should be. And I am glad that you're happy with him. I was actually speaking with somebody earlier when I was getting everything ready as well that has a level 50 Karoon. And he was confirming with me that he feels like Karoon is a very powerful commander. The heals are really good. The stuns work. He's only got him at, I think, respect 1. So he can just get better from there. But yeah, he's quite happy with Karoon. So it does seem like there are some reports that can be found corroborating my decision. Yeah, like you said, sometimes, you know, there might be something that happens, you tweak it a little bit, and there you go. Shadow Catalyst. So far, I've gotten Dwaylen, Boromir, and Theo to rank 5. Do you have videos on any of their stat builds, etc.? I don't know if my good commanders video, I think it talks about Boromir. Yeah, it talks about Boromir. I don't think it talks about Dwaylen or Theo. But Theo, I can pretty well tell you right now. You want to go with Rohirrim, which is your. I'll just bring up a random commander here. So on Theo, you go with Rohirrim. You max that to 15. Arid Leader. Max that one to 15. And I think Horsemaster. Max that one to 15. And then you can spread some points out into some of the other ones. You're not going to have many left to spread. I believe I put... Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong skills here. I've got a few points in, I think, this sub-skill, and this sub-skill on Theo. And that's about it. Other than that, I went full 3 titles on him. And yeah, he's a beast. Dwaylen, if you go with his experienced warrior tree and Durin's blood tree, he can do a lot of damage. Oh wait, he works better. Does he work better as a healer now? Because in the last beta, he was actually pumping out a ton of damage with the experienced warrior tree and Durin's blood. But yeah, if he's working as a healer now, then maybe just use him as a healer. David Moore is playing dwarves, so I would definitely defer to him on his advice on Dwaylen. And yeah, like I said, Boromir, he's weird now because the build that I know for Boromir isn't valid anymore since they've made some changes. But it seems like a lot of people are still using his Warden. Yeah, his Warden title at respect 3. Horn of Gondor at respect 5, I think it is. Or Horn of Gondor might be. I respect 1. But yeah, no, Boromir I'm not quite as familiar with off the top of my head because I haven't been using him myself. But I know the Warden tree, I'm still seeing it be used. The one that gives you avoidance. Value survival over damage. The best ones I have seen is health. He also can solo dragons with no troop losses if you go in on the last tree, plus damage to large units. Yeah, he's got that giant slayer skill, so he can be a great counter or a great boss slayer, basically. Yeah, I actually tried Dwaylen as a healer when I first got him with my original Dwarven account. And he underperformed so much as a healer. It was silly. So at that point, it was just straight damage. And that's kind of what I got comfortable as with him. But if they have fixed that, that's great. I'm very much the same though, David, where, yeah, I generally value like survival and utility over straight damage. So it's good to hear that that he's working that way. You need Dwaylen high enough level to max the heal and max the skill damage skills. Without both, straight damage is better. Yeah, not a problem, Shadow Catalyst. Yeah, and that's probably the thing, you know, with him and certain other commanders, it does feel like that if you've got the points to spread out into a couple different title trees, then it's definitely worth going, you know, a certain route. But if you don't have that level and you don't have the amount of points, then sometimes trying to invest in it early is just a waste. You can always respec for 20 gems. Get the pin off of there. Don't need the pin. $26.83. God damn it. Fine. Just march you out here then. Alrighty. So we're going to be sending Mr. Gorebag at the tiles here. We're going to be queuing up that BRB screen. And we'll be taking our little break to get ready for the tier list. The tier 2. The evil tier 2 commander tier list. Unless you are super unlucky, absolute free-to-play user, I would put Dwaylen on Dragon build and go on Eowyn and Haldir and forget the rest of tier 1. Boromir's a pretty good tier 1 commander. I don't know if I'd completely ignore him. But yeah, I mean, Dwaylen, Eowyn, and Haldir are definitely, I think, the best. Making my way to the only free Mama Camp. Hopefully you get it. Yeah, good luck, man. Syntax, how's it going? Soon me and my boys from Arnor will be able to share some battle reports of the Rangers of the North under commanders like Haldir and Faramir at R5. I'm curious to see what the reports will say. So am I, man. That is information that a lot of people have been waiting for. So yeah. Yeah, I do agree with you there, David, that, you know, like, especially if you're if you're comparing Boromir to what he used to be, he is nothing compared to what he used to be. So, yeah, he does still provide some avoidance, some damage bonuses, some damage mitigation, but no, he's not nearly the commander he used to be. Nice. Yeah. Haldir can can definitely counter them really well. Faramir does pretty good too. He's got foresight as well. So, all right, we've got him. He's taking the tiles. We're gonna send him home. Alrighty. So, if you were with us on Monday, you learned that there are 5 types of spies: local, internal, double. I had to refer to the book again. Dead and live. Well, tonight you'll get to learn what the local spies are. We also have a pretty interesting fact about dogs. So, if you're a dog lover, here you go. You can read up on this, and we shall return to dive into that tier list. Transition. Transition. We are back. How is everybody doing? You were all well behaved during the break, I hope. Oh, Jeebus, what the hell happened there? I clicked on a thing and I didn't even mean to click on a thing. All right. So we've got that up. Get over to our tier 2 commanders here. As we did last time, we're going to go from... Wow. All right. I think I'm ready. I think I'm good to go. Ooh. Had myself a little drink. Made a little drink while I was down there. Oh, that's good squishy. All right. So like I said, as we did last time, we're going to go from right to left. So we're going to make our, oh my God. Let's try this again, shall we? We are going to make our way from Mr. Gothmog all the way over to Kamul. As I did last time, I just want to preface this by saying that this is my tier list. You know, it's going to be different probably than other tier lists you may have seen out there. Commander rankings are an inherently subjective topic. One of the big things is different people value different skills, different abilities, different things like that, you know, at different, they value them differently. And that's going to affect how people rank commanders and things like that. So as I was saying last time, I don't want this being taken as like the absolute word that these are the best or the worst commanders. This is just how I rank them. This is my feelings on them. So with all that said, let's get right into it with Gothmog. Mr. Gothmog here is a leader. So at level, so he gets 5 extra command points, which means at level 50, he's going to have 80 command points to work with, as opposed to the 75 that most people are going to have. As you can see, his might and his speed are lacking compared to his focus. And there are reasons for that we'll get into once we get in here. His Overlord skill is one that I want to talk about right away, because this does work the way that most people think the Snagathrax work. He's going to deal 30% damage to one allied target, and that target is going to get their next instance of damage modified or increased by 2.6%, modified by the focus stat. So that's going to be, what, 35% roughly? 40% maybe? At max? Maybe even 45. Maths. And he's going to get an extra 15 focus once you do max it out. Physical damage received down 2% for your melee units, up to 14 at max. And Fortify while defending, all of your allied units are going to receive minus 2.5%. That's going to go up to roughly 20%, I think, at max. This isn't his greatest tree, in my opinion. Like I said, I wanted to talk about it because this does work the way Snagathrax sound like they work. And it can be very confusing when you read it. So I just wanted to clear that up right away. The base tree that I think you should invest in for Gothmog is second in command. As I was speaking about earlier with Kamul, it gives 15 extra focus. It gives your allied melee units 15% extra damage during combat. And an extra 15 focus once you max it out. It gives you the discipline skill, so you can get 35 extra defense for your entire army. And the anticipation skill, which gives you a 75% chance at max of avoiding all damage from the next 4 attacks, and that is for the allied unit with the lowest defense. Any commander that has this tree, I think you should take it. It is a great tree. At Respect 3, he gets the Crippled, all allied units. Each attack has a 4% up to, that'd be 60% chance to cause maximum damage. Although the commander's normal attack decreases by 6%, 15, so that'd be what, 75% roughly at max. But that debuff does get reduced. It doesn't say by how much. But once you max it out, that damage reduction does get reduced. This is worth going into because it opens up Open Wound. Against one enemy target, you're going to deal 400 or 500% physical damage, roughly. And the target cannot recover HP for 2 rounds. A 2-round heal block is always nice. He also gets resupply here, so 2 allied units are going to recover 60% HP each, or sorry, not 60, that would be 28% HP each round, modified by the focus stat. And then if you get him to Respect 5, he gets Morgul Lieutenant, which is definitely worth going into. First 3 rounds, Orcs and Trolls damage dealt is going to be increased by 60%, and that'll extend to 4 rounds at max. The big reason you take this, though, is for Grand. Siege, plus 28 for your entire army at max. You pair that with Alchemists, they get 58 Siege, which is huge. That every round heal, right? Orcish Warlord here increases the speed and decreases the damage received by your orcs by 14% and 14 for the speed. Not a great skill in my opinion, not really worth maxing out, but Morgul Lieutenant and Grand are amazing. And like I said, that 2 allied units recovering HP each round, modified by the focus stat. You're getting extra focus from this. You're blocking their heals for 2 rounds. Gothmog, oh wow, that went weird. A Gothmog is a great commander. I will say that right now. Is he S tier though? That's the thing. I don't think, although, I don't know, he's got that second in command tree, to be perfectly honest. But I still don't think he's S tier. Yusuf, how you How's it going, my man? Where did I even have him? Yeah, you know what? I'm happy with the ranking I gave him in my book here. In my little book. Hey, that's all right, Yusuf. You're just in time for the evil commander rankings. So we literally just started. Gothmog is the first commander we're talking about. And I'm just about to place him on the little chart thingamajig. Oh, wait a minute. Transition. I know it doesn't look that much different, but there we go. Now we got our little chart thing up. So Mr. Gothmog, I had him in my book. I had him sitting at a solid A once you get him to respect 5. At respect 0 to 1, I think he's probably C, because all he really brings to the table is the second in command tree. At respect 3, he starts to do a little bit more and probably bumps up to a B. But once you get him to respect 5 and you can make use of Morgul Commander and get that extra siege damage, he definitely goes up to an A tier commander in my book. Literally, in my book. You know, it's a saying in my books, but well, I'm just gonna stop that now because that's getting confusing. You guys know what I mean. We're gonna hide that so that we don't screw that up this time. We've got him placed. Moving on to the Mouth of Sauron. The extra 5 command points is nice as well, but like you said, he doesn't quite seem S. I don't know, man. A rank for sure. The heal is great, but I feel he's a background siege based dude. The thing is, I think if you overlook the rest of his abilities and focus too much on using him just as a siege commander, you're missing out. Because like I said, I mean, this tree right here allows you to make use of Reapers really, really well. So even at the base respect, he can do a lot with just Reaper compositions, like Reapers and Mountain Trolls. And then once you get the crippled, he starts to give all your allied units a chance to cause maximum damage. That can really add up. And then this massive heal block, and that's where he gets the heal. He brings so much more to the table than just the siege damage. And I find a lot of people only really appreciate him for the siege. Well, like I said, I am happy with putting him in at A tier, prefacing it by saying that he needs, at least respect 3, preferably respect 5, to really take off. Yeah, the crippled with alchemists. Oh yeah. And then also, alchemists they're Uruk-hai, aren't they? They're not orcs. So they don't get the bonus from this. Regardless, like I said, I do feel comfortable putting him up there in the A tier. Mouth of Sauron. We're going to talk about him a little bit here. Alrighty, so he is a balanced commander. He gets 25 might, 25 focus, and 25 speed, plus 2 extra skill points at level 20. His stats are nothing in might. He's not a very mighty commander. He's focused though, and he's not too bad for speed. So if you're looking for gear for this guy, you're going to mainly want focus, and then your secondary stat is going to be speed. And when we talk about skills for this guy, he's got Black Numenorian up here. Normal attacks are going to inflict additional focus damage, and he's going to get 15 extra focus at max. Dark Mantle is just going to cause all of your enemies to receive extra physical damage, 14% to be precise, at max. And then Black Arts, I have talked about this one until I'm blue in the face, but I will talk about it some more. Against 2 enemy targets, focus damage is dealt. That's going to be about 150% focus damage, modified by the focus stat. The more important part about this is that he gets the heal block for 1 round. I generally only suggest taking 1 point in Black Arts just to activate the heal block, but because this guy is a focus-based commander anyway, maxing this out is not really a terrible idea. Harbinger of Darkness. For the first 2 rounds, allied and enemy units. Damage minus 45%. So that is going to affect your allied units as well. The effect is extended to 3 rounds at max. He gets Master of Mischief over here. Against 2 enemy targets, he's going to inflict Madness and reduce their defense by 35 for 1 round. And then down here he gets Enfeeble. So against enemy units subject to Madness, they're going to receive roughly 30% more damage. So that plus the Master of Mischief is going to kind of negate the damage reduction to your allied units here, even although they're still going to be affected by it. So even at respect 0 to 1, this guy can be okay. I wouldn't say he's anything to write home about unless you get him up a bit higher. But if you get him to respect 3, he gets Messenger. For the first 5 rounds against the enemy commander, normal attack minus 42%. That should be 6 8s is 48, so take away 6 is 42. Maths. Why am I? No, 15. 75%. 75%? 60 and maths. Oh god, I hate doing quick math. 10 is 60. 5 is 30. So 90? 90%. That makes sense. First 5 rounds against the enemy commander. Normal attack damage minus 90%. If I'm wrong on that, someone correct me, please. Once you get it to max, that damage reduction lasts for the entire battle. And against some commanders, that damage reduction is huge. He gets shut down up here against the enemy commander. Might and focus is going to be reduced by about 30%. Yeah, by about, or not 30%, by about 30. 90 is correct. Awesome. Thank you. Disruption against the enemy commander. He has a 75%, or she, could be a female commander you're going up against. Maybe you're going up against a Galadriel or an Arwen or something, or an Eowyn. Against the enemy commander, they have a 10.7, translating to 75% roughly. Chance of being silenced for 1 round once you get that maxed out. The Lieutenant of Barad-dûr. At respect 5, orcs and trolls, damage dealt increased by 20%, I believe that translates to, or 25. I did the math on that the other night for other commanders, but now I don't have those notes. So, trying to do this all off the top of my head. But yeah, orcs 15. And then 6. That's 10. Did for 90. That's weird. I'm gonna say 20%, but it doesn't. The maths don't seem like they're adding up to that. But I'm sure the other day when I was doing this for one of the other commanders, they had a 1.6 thing. 15 brought it up to 20. So roughly, I got my phone right here. Why don't I just do the maths? I mean, I didn't want to take the time out of the thing to do a thing like this, which is why. But now I've just made it all confusing, and it's not very. 24. Wow, I was way off. So they will probably round that up to 25% extra damage dealt by your orcs and trolls at max level. You also get an extra 15 might, which for this guy is pretty much useless. Orcish Warlord, speed increased by 14, damage received decreased by 14%. But then Dishearten down here is the big one that you want to take. Enemy units, damage damage that they're going to deal is decreased by 21%. So this guy is all about debuffing enemy units and enemy commanders. As you can see, it's just like reducing their damage, reducing their defense, stuns, silence, or sorry, madness, or was it madness? Yeah, madness, silence, heal blocks. He's just a pain in the ass that way. At respect 5, if you got him like the best gear and the best everything, I still probably only put him. Get our thingy up again. I probably still only put him at about a B. I mean, he's good. He's good. He's all right, but he's not like great, not amazing in my opinion. But he's not terrible either. He's right in that, literally in the middle ground on the chart here. So, and that's what I'd consider him as a commander. He's just kind of middle ground. What did I say he is in the book? Well, I even gave him a bit of a boost from where I had him in the book. In the book, I had him as a C. But no, looking at him again, I'm pretty happy calling him a B tier commander. All right, before we move on, yes, Yusuf, I will be able to go through Gandalf the White and King Aragorn at the end. And Gideon Lim, welcome to the stream. Or welcome back to the stream. You're a regular. Quick question. What does speed affect during battle? Example, Kamul's 3rd tier tree. Speed affects the main thing it affects is the order in which units act. It does affect your march speed as well, but the big thing is, as it says here, affects a commander's turn order in battle, also increases the army's speed in battle. So if your commander and your troops have a higher speed than your opponents, then when you read the battle reports, your commander and your troops are going to act first, unless the opponent has initiative, which is a skill that can be given to your units or your commanders, or a trait that can be given to them through skills, I should say. God damn it, I wanted to get back into the thing. And that actually brings up a good point. Something I wanted to mention, because of that, a commander like Karun that I was talking about on Monday, that I put up in S tier, I do want to kind of make mention that because that's how speed works, like I said, if you look at his skills or his stats, his might and his focus are higher than his speed. That's wrong in my opinion. He doesn't have anything that is modified by focus, and because he relies on stuns, you're gonna want him acting before the other commanders and units. So for someone like Karun, you definitely want to prioritize might and speed. Probably even speed over might, just to make sure he's getting his stuns off before the enemies actually get a chance to act. Maybe, but it only stacks up to what, 6 times? So you're probably still gonna get hit enough times for it to max out. Azru Core. We're gonna jump right back into it here. He's a support commander, so he gets 25 focus and 5 extra skill points at level 20. And as you can see, his stats are completely balanced. 82, 82, 82, 82. This guy's a pretty interesting commander, though, in my opinion. I unlocked him in the beta and started testing with him just because I was so interested in his abilities. So Raider gives all of his ranged units a 2.3, that's going to translate up to roughly 30% or 35% chance of dealing an I think it's 35% chance of dealing an additional 2.6% burn damage after dealing damage. And so that is going to be roughly 40%. And he gets an extra 15 might on top of that. Powder Keg against 2 enemy targets. This deals an additional, that's going to be 300% burn damage when targets sustain burn damage. And as you can see here, this is allowing all of your ranged units to deal burn damage, which will trigger Powder Keg. Fuel Oil against all enemies. Burn damage received increased by, that'll be about 21%. City Wolf, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Sorry for the random question, but to kill Oathbreakers, you want a commander like Haldir with a front line that has counterattack. Do you know if weapons that give counterattack work as well? What? No, you don't. You don't really want things with counterattack, because they're immune to physical damage. So counterattack doesn't really help you there. You want Foresight on Haldir. Haldir is the right commander to use, but you want the Foresight ability because it is what allows you to ignore the avoidance of the Oathbreakers. But yeah, counterattack isn't, because it's like counterattacks are still physical damage. And so they're not actually going to, they wouldn't actually do a whole lot. Hey friend, Gilohi over here. Hey, how's it going, man? Yes, poison damage counts as focus damage, and so the poison damage that Haldir brings will also go against and take down the Oathbreakers. Gilohi, I've got 6 commanders, I think it is, loaded up and ready to go. If anyone, if any of you elves wanna have some fun later. I see you retook your tree. Grats. Back to Azru Core here, though. Down at the bottom here, he gets Warship Captain. 1 allied unit recovers, what does that turn into? Let's drop it to 20, and that would be 200 plus 100, 300. 350%. 1 allied unit recover about 350% HP. Also removes all debuffs from the army, which is nice. He gets Discipline, which is usually found in the second in command tree, so you can give 35 defense to your entire army. And then Clear-Headed is just kind of a waste down here, because, you know, you're not really going to use him as a tip commander, but if you want to, you can reduce the time needed to complete tips with him by 21%. Alice A, how's it going? Hi AJ, hi elves. He also gets the Conspirator tree up here, which is going to be great with the Raider tree. The commander, poison and burn damage, plus 2.3%. That, again, that's up to, what, 24%, 25%? But his physical damage gets reduced by about 20%. At max level, the physical damage cannot be decreased any further. This also gives you Treason for the first 4 rounds against 2 enemy targets. You're going to get about a 90% chance of succumbing to madness each round, or those 2 enemy targets are going to get a 90% chance of succumbing to madness each round. And Trickery. Against 1 enemy target, you're going to deal 60% physical damage once and impose a 50% chance of succumbing to madness for 1 round. So that's his madness tree, which works really well with burn damage in my opinion. Tanner, I believe they could. I can't remember. I did the testing. I'd actually have to go back and watch my own videos. I think I did try Arbalests on this guy, and I'm pretty sure they did do their own poison damage and then deal burn damage, also triggering powder keg. Yeah, this guy, he definitely wants all ranged units, pretty much, or double ranged, like arbalests, snipers, and then some frontline unit to keep them alive. Because once you get them to respect 5, each round, all of your ranged units get a 3.3. I'm just gonna have to do the math on this one. That's like 30 plus 15, 45% chance, roughly, of attacking twice each round, but only at minimum damage. 3.3 times 15. It'll be 50%. Each round, allied ranged units have a 50% chance to attack twice, but only at minimum damage. Again, with the bonuses he's giving them, that's not really an issue. He's going to get 15 extra focus at max. He can increase the siege damage of your army as well with logistics. And then get Evil Alliance to decrease the damage received by your men and orcs, evil men and orcs, sorry, by 14%. So, for this guy, I do think the Raider and the Conspirator tree are definitely worth going into. Warship Captain for the heal is kind of necessary. Discipline is always a nice skill. The Corsair of Umbar, it's definitely nice. And so you may... The problem is you'd need to sacrifice something. You couldn't get all the skills you would want to get on this guy. That is the problem with him. I'm interested in the T1 bottom tree and the T5 tree. Oh, since you're on the Easterlings, if you have the time after this, can you talk a bit about Khaldun? I can talk a little bit about Khaldun after Cody. Just for you, my man. But yeah, for Azrukor, he does have heal, he does have some madness, and so if you were to go and focus on these 3 trees and go like Raider, Warship Captain, yeah, I don't know. It would probably be treason over trickery. If you could get Conspirator, actually, it might be better to prioritize with this guy going Raider, Conspirator, Treason. Try and get both Powder Keg and Fuel Oil maxed. And then whatever extra points you've got, throw into Warship Captain. Because you're probably going to want a heal with this guy, for sure. If you don't have a heal with him, then your archers are just going to get torn apart. But definitely the Raider and Conspirator tree, I think, are the way to go with Mr. Azrukor. I'm still only comfortable sitting him in there with, I don't even know actually if I feel comfortable with that, because like that heal isn't as, it's not huge. It's good. It goes off every 3 rounds, I think. So you get 3 of them. Do I really think he's a B tier commander? I mean, you could run him with like the double archers and alchemists. The alchemists are going to trigger this as well. But I mean, you're going to lose so many units at that point. Yeah. We might come back to him. We might switch him later on. Like, he's the first one I don't feel totally 100% comfortable putting at B. Like, putting him in the tier he is. What did I have him in the book? Oh, no, okay, I don't know. In the book, I had him at C at respect 0. And then at 3 and 5, he was a B. So, I'll keep him at B. And we will talk about Mr. Grishnak. Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about with Grishnak unless he's been reworked and actually like works now or like does stuff now. He sucks. He's just terrible. He's got the assassin tree up here. Poison damage plus 30%. Physical damage is going to go down by about 20%. Physical damage cannot be decreased any further at that point, though. He does get a huge poison here. Well, not huge, but what, 37.1? Let's round that up to 40. See, that's almost 300%. It's like 250% poison damage. And the targets cannot recover HP for 2 rounds. So, I mean, a 2-round heal block is a 2-round heal block. Corrupting Curse. Each round against one enemy target, he's going to deal about 250% poison damage, continuous for 2 rounds, and imposes a 30% chance of inflicting madness. He's one of these commanders that on paper, this feels like it should be a really strong tree. I did personal testing with Grishnak, though, using the assassin tree, and I was not happy about it. Down here, he does get the warband leader, so he makes a pretty good tip commander. His army march speed can get increased by 15%, and he acts as 2 commanders when completing tips. He gets extra resources gathered, 21% extra at max. And then he can increase your army's siege by 7 at max here. At Respect 3, he gets Survivor. From round 5 onwards, all of your allied units are going to receive 30% less damage. At max level, it takes effect in round 4, which comes in handy. And he can increase his focus and his speed by 7%. See, I always confuse the two of these, 15 down here and 7 up here. He can increase his focus and his speed by 7% if you max out deafness. And prudence is actually a pretty decent skill sometimes. Oh wait, no, this is the bad version of avoidance. First 2 rounds, all allied units have a 25% chance of avoiding damage, but their damage gets reduced by 30%. So, it's a trade-off. It's not great avoidance. He does get Interrogator up here at Respect 5, which does give him a bit of a boost, because this tree can actually be really good. Enemies stunned or subject to madness are going to receive about, what's that, 6.6? God, terminal, about 45%? No, 100%. Will receive 100% extra damage. Yeah, for 1 round. Those damage bonuses are modified by his speed stat, which you probably haven't been... Well, actually, yeah, focus and speed here, so that would be alright. Up here, he gets Laceration. Each round against one enemy target, he inflicts bleeding, causing the target to suffer 37.1. That's going to be about 250%. Physical damage continuous for 3 rounds. And Restrain against 2 enemy targets. That is going to be... What's that, about the 90% chance of being stunned for 1 round. And again, he increases the damage received by enemies subject to madness or stun. He's got a stun here, and he's got madness here. So at Respect 5, like I said, you combine the Interrogator tree with Restrain and Corrupting Curse. He's got Plague for the heal block. You can take Survivor and go into Deafness if you want to increase his focus and his speed. Unfortunately, though, he's just a fairly subpar commander in my book. Oh boy, I left. No, I didn't. Oh, I didn't do the thingy. Did I not show you guys the where I put AjMcGamer then? See, I put him at B, and you heard me talking about putting him at B, and now you can see it. I don't think you saw it before. But anyway, Grishnak is a D tier commander if you don't get him to respect 5. If you get him to respect 5, he does bump up to a C. But he's generally, most people aren't going to invest enough into him to get him to respect 5. So you know what? I'm just going to leave him at a C. Or, sorry, at a D. Is it just poison that feels kind of weak? Because I know fire damage seems great, but every time it's poison, it's like meh. No, it's not necessarily that poison damage is weak. It's just situational. It's not used. It's not applicable in enough situations. It can be healed through. Yeah, it's just kind of odd. Alright, Mr. Uglook. He is a warrior. So he gets 25 extra might, 2 skill points, and his commander, his own personal physical damage gets increased by 10%. He's got 93 might, 32 focus, and 45 speed. So that'll tell you right there he wants to be increasing his might, and then his secondary stat is his speed. He gets the Pursuer skill tree up here, which is generally an instant take for any of these kind of commanders. It increases their damage by about 20% while attacking. Those damage bonuses, or that damage bonus, is modified by the speed stat. I am losing the ability to speak tonight. He gets Deepen Wounds, so he's going to deal that 42.8. 40, 280, 2.8, 3 would be 21. About 300% physical damage, and the next damage received is increased by 3%, up to 21, I think. Effect modified by the focus stat. Overwhelm as well, against the enemy unit with the lowest defense. He's going to deal about 200% physical damage and an additional 300% physical damage after 1 round. He does get Urukai Elite down here as well, which gives him an extra 15% might and an extra 15% speed, and then just an extra 15 speed at max. Dangerous Trade. All of your allied units are going to receive an extra 5% damage, but their damage dealt is going to increase by 28%. And then Urukai Captain. 35% chance for your Urukai units to recover. God damn it, I wish these were all viewable at max. 90% roughly HP after dealing damage. Something like that. 90 or 100% HP after dealing damage. At Respect 3, he does get the Outlaw tree as well, which gives all of your allied melee units an increase to their damage of about 20%. But their damage received is going to increase by 5%. Pretty much very similar to the Dangerous Trade skill. He gets an extra 15 might along with that. Brawler. The commander is going to deal about 30% extra damage to melee units. And then Cripple. He's going to deal about 280, about 400%, about 280% physical damage. And greatly reduce the speed of 1 unit for 2 rounds. Up at Respect 5, he gets the White Hand, which gives all of your allied Urukai units a damage increase of about 12%, I think that is. Is that what that works out to? I think so. These weird 0.3 ones. No, oh, Jesus, that only adds up to 4.5%. But that does stack or does go off every round. He gets an extra 15 speed at max there. And then untiring, this is a pretty big one. You only need 1 point into this to give all of your Urukai units stun immunity. It's going to reduce the damage received by 3% up to 21%. And then arson, against 2 enemy targets, he deals burn damage twice. Each separate attack chooses a different target. Not really worth going into for this guy because he's just not worried about burn damage up until that point at all. He is basically just a mini Lurtz, although I didn't find he performed anywhere close. I'm gonna stick him at B tier though, because he does have enough damage that he can be pretty impressive just straight damage wise. We may not even have a C tier commander tonight, because I don't think Shadow is gonna get there, and I know Kamul is not in there. But we also don't have any S tier commanders tonight. So, although Lurtz is gonna take that spot, I think. Back to Shadow though. Undertaker. Normal attacks deal 40% extra damage to all enemies. At max, that is going to go up to 600%. And his normal attacks at max are going to deal poison damage. This guy will tear Oathbreakers to shreds on his own. Up here at round 7, he gets delayed plague up here at round 7. Against 2 enemy targets, he's going to deal a very powerful 114.2. That's like 800, 900%. I don't know. 114.2 times 7. 800% poison damage. That is massive. And then here he gets plague. Against 2 enemy targets, he's going to deal that roughly 280% poison damage, and the target cannot recover HP for 2 rounds. Black Numenorian down here is going to increase, is going to cause his normal attacks to inflict an additional 150% focus damage at max, as well as increase his focus by another 15. He gets Dark Mantle to increase the physical damage received by all of his enemies by 14%. And Black Arts down here to provide another heal block. Against 2 enemy targets, that 22% focus damage, modified by the focus stat, and as I said, the heal block provided as well. This one's not quite as important for Shadow though, because he gets a 2-round heal block up here. Ring Wraith is just going to pair perfectly with the Undertaker tree though. Against all enemy units, burn, poison, and focus damage received increased by 30%. And his focus is going to increase by another 15. The same Morgul poison you'll find on all the other Nazgul. Each round, normal attacks are going to inflict another 70% poison damage continuous for 2 rounds. And Nazgul Screech is going to give him a chance of being stunned and then inflicting focus damage continuous after the stun effect ends, modified by the focus stat. Shape of the Void up here is going to, for the first 4 rounds, against your, or on yourself, on Shadow here. Again, tired, losing the ability to speak properly, so just bear with me. He is going to get about a 75 to 80% chance to attack twice each round. Paired with his Undertaker skill, that's massive damage. It also increases his might by 15. Detect weakness, he can get a 25% chance of gaining extra damage each round. That's, what about 90%? And then lower defenses on hit against enemy army. 50% chance to receive an additional about 35% damage. So this guy is very similar, in my opinion, to like an Agzoc or Alerts, but a focus-based version of them. He does a ton of poison damage, just poison, poison, poison all day, huge numbers. And because of that, he sits solidly in the A tier for me. Whoop. Backed out a little too far there. Alright. Looks like Lurtz is a little bit closer to the right, so we'll talk about him before we talk about Kamul. As I said, we just talked, about the Pursuer tree on Ugluk. Lurtz has the exact same one here. He also has the Uruk-hai Elite tree here. The big difference, though, with Lurtz is he gets Uruk-hai Firstborn. And so, at max here, 12 times 15, 150, so 180%. Lurtz is going to deal 180% physical damage 3 times. Each separate attack chooses a different target and causes slightly more damage. Oh, yes you are. Thank you very much, Rainbow Pit. There we go. As I said, with Lurtz, he's got the Pursuer and the Uruk-hai Elite skill tree, the same as Ugluk. The big difference here is Uruk-hai Firstborn. He's going to deal 180% physical damage 3 times. And at max, the damage increase is going to be even more with each attack. It also opens up Raid, so against one enemy target, he's going to deal that about 300%, or 280, no, 200? 34.2 physical damage, with a chance of dealing an additional, I'm just going to keep the calculator up because my brain has shut down on me and I can no longer do all this quick maths. I'm getting numbers wrong and I don't like putting out incorrect information. 239, so 240% physical damage, and has a 50% chance of dealing an additional 240% damage. He also gets Rush Down here, which is going to give him, on round 1 against one enemy target, he's going to deal 240% physical damage. Up here at Respect 5, he gets the White Hand, so all of his allied Uruk-hai units get their physical damage increased by 4.5% every round. He also gains extra speed. This is the same as Ugluk again. Untiring, damage received down by 21% and gaining stun immunity. And then Arson, which I would not suggest taking. For these commanders, I would say focus on these trees. Although you do want at least 2 points into the White Hand to get 1 point into Untiring to get your stun immunity for Uruk-hai units. But I don't think this is going to be any surprise that Mr. Lurtz is sitting up here in the S tier. He puts out too much damage and is too well loved by everybody not to put him up here. He brings damage, he brings stuns. Does he? No, not stuns. He'll stun. What the hell else does he bring? God, stun immunity. I knew there was a stun thing in there somewhere. He brings damage, he brings stun immunity, damage reduction, I think a heal. Yeah. So he does offer things to his units, and in terms of tier 2 commanders, he's definitely the only one I would call S tier. Mr. Kamul, as much as I like him, I don't think even he makes it to the S tier. But as I was mentioning about Kamul, we're still looking at the tier list transition. Earlier, the Shadow of the East tree is going to deal 300% focus damage once, prioritizing the enemy unit with the highest defense. He gets poison damage up here. So this is going to cause the targets to suffer. That's 40. Ah, God damn it all. Numbers and things. I should have done this beforehand, but I didn't. 150. Jeez, that should have been so much easier. 150% poison damage, continuous, every round. This damage cannot be avoided. Dreadful Presence is going to deal... This one was about 90% focus damage, modified by the focus stat, and can only cause minimum damage for the next one round against 3 enemy targets. And that can be pretty massive against certain enemies. As I was saying earlier though, the second in command tree is one of my favorites. Increase the focus, increases the damage dealt by your allied melee units, extra focus at max. It gives the access to the discipline and the anticipation trees, which, as I said, they just provide 35 defense here and a 75% chance of avoiding all damage from the next 4 attacks for the unit with the lowest defense down here. Basically, always your Reapers. He gets the Ring Wraith, so his burn, poison, and focus damage received by enemy units is going to be increased by 30%, and he gets an extra 15 focus with that. Another 70% poison damage, continuous for 2 rounds, added to his normal attacks each round. And then the Nazgul Screech, adding that chance of being stunned and dealing focus damage when the stun ends. And then at Respect 5 up here, he does have the Black Easterling Tree, which I spoke a little bit about earlier, but I'll go into detail now. Against 2 enemy targets, it's going to reduce the defense and speed by 30. And then 2 allied units are going to have their defense and speed increased by 30 for 1 round. He also gets an extra 15 might. Hamstring against 2 enemy targets is going to decrease their defense and speed by another 7% every round. And then Black Rider makes your mounted units immune to madness and increases their physical damage by 0.9 upon inflicting physical damage up to 3 stacks. So that would be 2.9 times blah 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 blah. Yeah, numbers. Because that wouldn't increase, or no, it would actually. 0.9 times 7. Or no, not 0.9. 0.9 times 7. So it'll increase the physical damage by 6% up to 3 stacks, so 18% total upon inflicting physical damage. For Kamul, I would, because until I can get confirmation that this tree works well with any kind of mounted unit, whether that be Fallen, whether that be the Chariots or whatever, I still think that these are the trees you want to focus on, and more heavily on these 2 trees, and then extra points into your Ring Wraith tree, in my opinion. But you do that, and I don't see any reason Kamul doesn't perform as an A tier commander. So there we have it. Got through that one a little bit quicker than I did the other night. But those are my thoughts on the evil tier 2 commanders. And yeah, I hope it was informative, engaging, entertaining for people to watch that. I hope it answered the questions that people were looking to have answered about them. Oh boy. Okay, I'll do that at another time then. But Cody was asking me to speak about Mr. Khaldun. So Khaldun, Cody, you were interested specifically in... Where did this go here? Oh. Where did it go? Oh, there you are. You're interested in the T1 bottom tree and the T5 tree. All right. Appreciate all the hard work you put in, bro. Thank you. I'll check out Gothmog. See about my Mouth of Sauron build, and I like the Fat Evil Man Commander. Forget his name at the moment. Azrukor. Yeah. Yeah, no problem, man. I really hope it helps. So Cody, the Easterling tree down here, as you can see here, it reduces the stats of the enemy commander for 1 round, and that's going to be about 20%, I think, at max. Yeah, you're quite welcome. And he gets an extra 15 might. Evil Alliance is a nice tree. It reduces the damage received by your men and evil men and orcs by 14%. And then Iron Guard is going to give you that 50% chance of reducing physical damage received by about 30%. So this is more of a damage mitigation tree than like a damage tree. And personally for Khaldun, I actually think he does better going the experienced warrior tree and spear dancer. They work really well together, I find. But then we will talk about the Marshal of the Eastmark tree. This is the same one that Kirun has. Melee units have a 50% chance of reducing damage received by 30% at max. Gets an extra 15 focus, which isn't great for this guy. But it does open up quicksand against 2 enemy targets. You have the damage received against them is going to be about 20%, 20-21% during combat. And they have a 10% chance of being stunned each round. And then Tribal Tactics is going to give your evil men about a 25% chance, maybe a 30% chance of attacking twice each round. I'm just confirming what that number is. 3.6 times 7, 25%. Yeah. Chance of attacking twice each round. So for Khaldun, I definitely think Experienced Warrior, Spear Dancer, Marshal of the Eastmark are the 3 trees you want to consider. There's nothing wrong with going Marshal of the Eastmark tree. It provides some damage mitigation for your units, at least the melee ones. Gives you a stun, as well as allowing them to, giving them a chance to attack twice each round. But again, the Experienced Warrior and the Spear Dancer tree on its own can do a lot of damage. If that didn't answer what you were wanting answered, Cody, then just feel free to pop it into the chat as to like what specifically you were wanting cleared up. Ooh. Cody, are you still with us? If not, we'll just move on back over to the main account. I remember somebody had asked about Gandalf and King Aragorn as well, quickly. So what questions did we have about Gandalf the White and King Aragorn? Yes, Yusuf. All right. What did you have specific questions about them, or did you just want me to go over like builds? I've got my King Aragorn here, and this will show you how I've chosen to prioritize him early on. I did go with his LSR tree because it's going to give, as you can see here, 2 allied units are going to recover 160% HP and gain a 30% chance of reactivating the effect once. At max here, it actually gets a 50% chance of receiving an additional recovery effect. So this 30% gets bumped to 50% at max here. Exorbitance, all allied units are going to be dealing an additional 14% damage. And then Elven Blessing down here, 2 allied units recover right now 25.7% HP modified by the focus stat. And this also has a 50% chance of reactivating once. I did come up into the Anduriel tree here to deal 300% physical damage against 2 enemy targets and get the extra 15 might. And now I'm working on Cull the Weak against the enemy target with the lowest defense. Right now I'm dealing 60% damage. That's at 2. So 1 would have been 30. So 7 would be 210% damage, physical damage, against the enemy target with the lowest defense. Weapons expertise, I don't know if I'll actually put points into this until later. I might, if I don't increase his respect level anymore, but he gets a 50% chance of gaining an additional, this would be 50% damage. So, I mean, it is good. There's nothing bad about it. It's just, I don't prioritize it over the other ones. He gets the same Strider tree that the other Aragorn gets at Respect 3. So removes the race restrictions on all equipment, and you get an extra 30% base stats from all equipment. Precise Blow is pretty good. Against one enemy target, it's going to deal 280% physical damage, and he's going to gain Pursuit, which means he ignores Avoidance, or gets a chance to follow up, which is attack twice. Yeah, I think that's Pursuit. Round 1, he gets a Raid here as well, the same one that Lert's got. Dealing physical damage with a 50% chance of dealing an additional percentage of damage. Then Respect 5 here, he gets an interesting one where for the first 5 rounds and at max persist for the entire battle, when your men units are affected by Stun or Madness, their damage received is going to be reduced by, I believe, about 90%. Yeah, it's going to be reduced by 90%. So that is really good. They're still going to be hit by the Stun or the Madness, though. That's the only issue I have with it, is that it doesn't actually negate the Stun or the Madness. It just reduces the damage they receive while they're affected by it. Return of the King, round 5 onwards. Aragorn himself is going to deal 70% extra damage, which is a pretty huge bonus for himself. And then Dunedain Bloodline, your men get an extra 14 attack and an extra 35 defense during combat. So King Aragorn is pretty good. He does provide some heals, he provides a lot of damage and things like that. I still think the original Aragorn at tier 2 is better because at Respect 5, he's got Sun and Moon Splendor up here. And for 1 point, that actually provides your men units stun immunity, which, like I said, I think that's better than just reducing the damage received, but still being affected by the stun or the madness. And for his stats, you're still going to be mainly going for might. You could go for some focus because he's got the heals. And like I think Elven Blessing is modified by the focus stat. So you could go with might and focus for this guy, but you could also go might and speed. There'd be nothing wrong with that. But might for sure. And then Mr. Gandalf the White. I mean, he's a focus-based commander, so he's going to want focus. And probably speed, as you can see here, to back that up. And in terms of skills, I really like the white up here. After the commander deals damage against one enemy target, 50% chance of dealing an additional 100% focus damage, and he gains 20 extra focus at max here. Magical Barrier is a great ability. It's going to increase your army's defense by about, what, 20%, 21% during combat, or not percent, by about 21 during combat. But it's modified by the focus stat. So that's going to provide a lot of extra defense to your army. Blindside provides a stun here as well as some minor focus damage. The focus damage on this isn't as important as the stun, in my opinion anyway. The wizard down here, against 2 enemy targets, he's going to inflict stun and reduce their defense by, that's going to be 3.3 times 15. God damn it, making me do math all that. 3.3 times 15, 49.5, so that's going to round up to 50. So yeah, he's going to inflict stun and reduce the enemy defense by 50 for 3 rounds, as well as gaining an additional 15 focus at max. Surge is going to deal 21.4% focus damage twice, and that is going to increase to 150% at max. And that's affected by modified by the focus stat. And each attack chooses a different target. And then Pipeweed Connoisseur, if you want this to increase his focus by another 14%, while reducing his might by 7%, you can take that here. At Respect 3, he's going to get White Council. All allied units for the first 3 instances of damage received reduced by 1.2%, effect modified by the focus stat. So that's, again, that's like what, 20% reduction modified by the focus stat at max. And the debuff is going to come into effect for one more round, for one more instance at max. So that'll be the first 4 instances of damage instead of 3 at max. High Alert will reduce the focus, burn, and poison damage received by your allied units by 50% when this is maxed out. And then Champion of Light is going to cause all of your allied units to deal an extra 28% damage to orcs, urukai, and trolls, which are pretty much all of the evil units except evil men. And then White Rider is what he gets here at at Respect 5 against the enemy army. Their damage received is going to go up by 0.5%, and that, doing all our math, 0.5 times 15. So against the enemy army, damage received plus 7.5% stacks each round up to 4 stacks. So 28, so that'd be 48 roughly. And this one's interesting because at max level, he's not going to gain the 20 extra speed, although he's part of your army, so he might, but it is going to apply to your units, which is great. He gets horsemanship here, so his mounted units are going to deal an extra 21% damage. And then he gets a nice big heal here on round 7 from round 7 onwards. 2 allied units are going to recover that much health each round. And that much health translates to 120% HP each round. He's definitely a very strong commander, in my opinion. He's got almost everything you want. He's got damage increases, damage reductions, focus damage, stuns. Just, yeah, he's a really good commander, in my humble opinion. Alright. Now, we need to find somebody to send some commanders at. And then I don't know what time we're at. Yeah, I think I might have to end this stream a little bit early tonight. Because, man, I am exhausted, apparently. I'm just, like, passing out here. The energy, I'm trying to keep the energy level up, but, whew, I don't feel like I've been able to tonight. I don't feel like I've been able to be my same rah, go for it self, and I apologize for that. I feel like the gray is better than the white. White shines at R5, otherwise he's kinda useless? No. No. Oh my. Yusuf, I don't know if you saw. Okay, so I'm gonna come back in here and we'll go over this a little bit. So this here, the white, this is going to translate to a lot of focus damage, because after he deals damage, he gets that chance to deal extra damage. Like, that's really good. That's a nice base damage for him to be doing. But then this magical barrier, like I said, the fact that it's going to increase the defense of your army by so much on its own, but then the fact that gets modified by Gandalf's focus stat, that is going to provide a huge defense boost to your whole army. While this is going to be stunning enemy units, this is going to stun 2 other enemy units. Even at respect 0, this guy is actually a really strong commander for those 2 things. And at respect 3, he's got a massive damage mitigation that he provides for both physical damage and focus damage, while increasing the damage you do to just about all evil units. Respect 5 here is actually his least impressive to me, because this wants to focus on mounted units. The only real good reason to go for it is the heal, in my opinion. If I were prioritizing Gandalf the White myself, I would actually want to prioritize these and then spend extra points in this White Rider to unlock the heal. Now, comparing to Gandalf the White or Gandalf the Gray, yeah, it's, you know, he's got some different stuff. You know, he's got a nice heal that he brings early on. He also has that same blind side as well as fleeting movements. He just doesn't provide as much damage himself early on. He does a lot more for his troops early on, whereas Gandalf the White can actually bring a bit of fight himself. You got Denethor. Well, I am sorry to hear that. You could try going with this ally tree up here. Gives him a decent heal. But again, it's weird because the commanders don't have HP themselves, so I don't understand who he's healing with this. This commander has a 40% chance of recovering HP after Manish units deal physical damage. I didn't think the commanders had HP themselves. So yeah, no problem, Yusuf. He does have ruling steward. You know, I would probably say make him into a tip commander. He does get extra experience from tips. Reduces the time needed to complete them. But yeah, I don't think Denethor is a very good commander at all. Yeah, I just think he's a straight bad commander, to be honest. Sorry about that, Battlebound. I don't think that's the answer you were looking for. Yeah, sadly, yeah. Alright. Well, who are we gonna send at who? We got... Oh, Fingolfin's here. Alright. Hi, Fingolfin. We're gonna have a little rematch. I 1v1'd him a couple of weeks ago. Or, like, last week. I think it was last week. They took all their commanders out of here. Fine, we'll just send them all at the tree then. Alright, there we go. We got everybody rushing at the tree. T2 tippers. Oh my, yeah. Alrighty, well, while the troops are on their final march, or their only march for the night, I'll get into that wrap-up phase, because I said once these guys hit, I'm gonna be calling this one early tonight, just a little bit early. And I done this game for season 1. I know more play. I wait season 2, and if I found same player group for play together, or I play. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Schnolla. I'm really getting frustrated with the devs. It's like, Jesus, they're just causing so many people to quit. Really frustrating. Galadriel. I can talk about her quickly here, yeah. She's a heavy focus damage commander until you get her to respect 5. Her Mistress of Magic gives her an extra 45% focus damage, and her normal attacks end up causing focus damage at max. She gets Surge here, which deals that 150% focus damage twice, modified by the focus stat, each attack choosing a different target. Focus Wrath up here deals focus damage and inflicts madness for a round. And then her Lady of Lorien tree increases the recovery received by your allied units by 30%, gives an extra 15 focus, and she does get a really nice heal here. Parting Gift, 380% modified by the focus stat on round 8, and then that would also be increased by 30% by this. She gets the same White Council tree that like Elrond and Gandalf the White and Gandalf the Grey get, with High Alert and Champion of Light. But then, as I said, Respect 5, she does get a bit better at healing. She gets another 30% focus here, with the extra 15 focus there. And then Ring of Water, one allied unit recovers 51.4, and boop, 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 boop. That is 360% HP, and they gain a 50% chance of recovering an additional 360% HP, increased by 30% here. And then she also gets that magical barrier that Gandalf the White had. So she's one that, like I said, early on, you build her as a focus-based commander to do heavy focus damage with this heal here. And then hopefully you can get her to respect 5 and take Nenya's Guardian with Ring of Water, magical barrier. And at that point, your army is laughing. But as I was saying, I'm going to get into the wrap-up phase where we thank all of our supporters, all of our patrons, all of our subscribers on Twitch, all the followers and subs on YouTube, just everybody that's helping make this channel what it is, make the community a great place to be. Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. It's always great on Wednesdays and Fridays. Looking forward to this. Always have some great discussion with people. Oh, we didn't even have a commander in here ready to go. Well, that sucks. Yeah, you're quite welcome, Yusuf. If this has been fun and entertaining, engaging, all that fun jazz, you can hit the like button, the subscribe button. If you're on Twitch, you can hit the follow button. There's a bell button on YouTube. There's all the different buttons that they want you to hit now. If you don't hit the buttons, they kill puppies or something like that. I don't know. That's what I heard anyway. So hit all the buttons except that button. That's the only button you don't hit. And yeah, and that's awesome. Like I said, I still never know how to do this whole thing. I feel awkward when I start doing the wrap-up stuff. But it's just like, yeah, say all the stuff that needs to be said. If you'd like to support the channel and help me make more streams and more videos, I haven't been able to do as many of those lately, and I do apologize. But we're trying. That's one of the things these tier lists are trying to be made for. But you can support the channel at patreon.com/AjMcGamer, or you can head over to AjMcGamer.live to check out the merch or leave a tip or just check out the page. I think it's got it's got like the Twitch info there and fun jazz and past streams. Yeah. When I get Karoon to level 50, I'll send you some stuff to see what we can figure out. And I'd like to see about this Mouth of Sauron build with you sometime. Indeed. But until then, peace, man. Great info and been great watching. Have a good day / night. You as well, False Prodigy. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And yes, you keep me posted on that Karoon. That will be interesting. Oh, Jeebus. People are talking about me. That's crazy. Well, thank you very much for that, Celia. I appreciate the free advertising. Onion eating in jail before dead. Sure. I think that made sense to someone. Oh! Mr. Aragorn. Got his ass... Oh, okay. Oh, no, he didn't get his ass kicked. He did pretty well. So, yeah. For anyone that's interested here, this is how I build my Aragorns. I love my defense. Like I said, he gets Dunedain Chieftain. It's not quite as good as Discipline for the evil faction, but I mean, 30 extra defense. And I was able to take out a level 40 Aragorn, as well as a level 36 Aragorn. and then get absolutely, well, not even absolutely smashed. I mean, to be honest, these guys actually did a lot better against the level 50 Legolas fully trooped out than I thought they would. But yeah, go defense. I love my defense. Hey, see you later, Rainbow Pit. Thank you very much. Always appreciate you stopping by. Oh, geez, we still got like 10 minutes to wait on Galadriel and Arwen and the other Aragorn, eh? Yeah, that's cool. We'll chill and wait. We'll wait them out. So if there's any last minute questions that people have, this would be your time to get them in, get them answered. If there's any other good commanders or good units that people want to see. If people are curious about the ring build, I can try and break down the ring build here for you. It's not quite as obvious anymore since we're getting close to that point where so much of it is maxed out. How do I find what each faction's special ability is? So for that, if you come to your main hall and go to your switch faction button, you can just then click on each of the factions, and it will tell you right there what the ability is. Resource production plus 5% for Mordor. Commander XP gain plus 5% for the elves. Construction time minus 5% for Gondor. Yeah, not a problem, man. What is your build for Éowyn? I will show you my Éowyn. So for Éowyn here, I got her to respect 5. You definitely want to take Rohirrim. And you definitely want to take White Lady of Rohan, along with Frontline Rescue and Nobility. Like basically, you max out her R5 tree for sure. You gain the big heal for your mounted units, stun immunity, the other big heal here, extra damage, and then this is all just extra damage, and damage mitigation down here. So once I get her another level, I'll be maxing this out, and then any extra points that I get will probably go into Shield Maiden, just to reduce the physical damage received by my melee units even more. Alright, 2 minutes out for Mr. King Aragorn. That cleave ability is only for Éowyn, or the units get that buff too. Let me take another peek. I'm pretty sure this is just for Éowyn. That's just a damaging ability that she does. 30 seconds until King Aragorn makes himself known. And then we start getting smacked around by these level 50 defenders. That's going to be funny. I'm just wanting to see how this fight plays out anyway. Well, Celia is great. Oh, we got the draw. What the bleeding hell is that? 10,000 sentinels? How the hell does he have 100 command points? What? Holy Christ. 10,000 sentinels. That is just a tad ridiculous. And 5,000 bonus. Wow. Arwen versus Arwen. Mine's better. Yeah, 80,000 damage from the Dunedains there against all archers. Wow. That was... Well, we'll wait the minute 40 then and see how Galadriel does. Why not? Let's burn the tree. Burn it to the ground. Yeah, I won't be doing that myself. What's going on in Gorgoroth? I guess they don't want you there, buddy. You've maybe overstayed your welcome a little bit. Alright, 40 seconds until Galadriel hits the tree. Well, she's just going home. That's all she's doing. Alrighty. Here we go. Can we take out at least one, maybe two commanders? Like, we'll finish off that one that's pretty much dead. But then I'm wondering if she'll have enough to take a full commander out. Since stream will be ending earlier today, I'm gonna watch the movies, I think. Sounds good. Sounds good there, Rainbow Pit. I mean, I don't know if 10 minutes... You've never actually seen them from beginning to end? Oh, wow. So yeah, we finished off that one and then got our ass kicked by a level 50 Theo with 5,000 goddamn marshals. That's just mean. Yeah. That's just mean. A Theo with 5,000 marshals. I don't want to play no more. I'm going home. You guys aren't any fun. Wow. I mean, okay. Sure. You got some issues, bud. But hey. He got some attention. I mean, just as I was about to end the stream, too. Whatever. So anyway, Thank you, Shadow. I appreciate that. Because, yeah, this is no place for that at all. Silly, silly guy. But anyway, now that we've got all of the attacks in, and we've got to at least send the commanders out doing some stuff tonight, once again, I just want to thank everyone for being here and joining us. Hopefully it was fun, entertaining, engaging. Hopefully I was able to share some knowledge. Once again, if it was, you can hit the like, the subscribe, the follow, the bell, the thumbs up, not the thumbs down. You can now support the channel on patreon.com/AjMcGamer or at AjMcGamer.live as well. And on Friday, we will continue the tier lists, and we'll just finish off with our tier 1 commanders on the evil side. So until then, good luck on whatever battlefield you find yourself on, and cheers. The final transition of the night. Peace out.